Hello, everybody. What if I told you that in a few short years, instead of using flat video or voice to communicate with one another, we'd use holograms, full three-dimensional live versions of ourselves, viewable with just eyeglasses that are powered by your phone. Well, that future is actually here already. This is my phone, and on my phone I've got my two sons, Alec and JJ.
They helped me edit, and I'm
volume,
feeling pretty good. But that huge stress off my chest has actually helped me move up to first chair in orchestra, so I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I also got an A on my chemistry test, which is good, and I did good at tennis practice today. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, well, we miss you, Dad. See you soon.
Yep.
Hey, Dad.
So my sons recorded that in Los Angeles just a couple of days ago, sent it to me on my phone. I can go back to my hotel room and get a message from them about how their day went, tell me a story, play me a song. And pretty soon that's going to be possible for everybody here. And I'm going to tell you how. So I'm Steve Raymond. I'm the CEO of a company called 8i, and we're pioneering a new technology called volumetric video, which is how we're going to fill the world up with content as we move into this age of immersive computing. Oh, they actually didn't give me the clicker. Can you guys, or FJ, can you run me the clicker out? Next one. One more. One more slide. There you go. So 10 years ago, the iPhone came out, and what happened after the iPhone was launched is very similar to what's about to happen in immersive computing. The technology in the iPhone wasn't in and of itself anything new. It was cameras and CPUs, internet connectivity, thanks, GPS, but it was the fact that all of this stuff was in a really simple, easy-to-use, single device that we all carried with us that caused an explosion in new use cases. What I like to say, it changed the world. And it changed the world in lots of different ways. How we share content with one another, how we listen to music, how we navigate, how we order a car, how we order a pizza. All these things are now much different 10 years later. I couldn't even imagine coming to a foreign city without my phone. I wouldn't know how to do anything. But the actual technology inside of the iPhone is about the same as it was 10 years ago when the original iPhone launched. Think about it. It's gotten bigger and faster, more power, better internet connectivity, but no real new technology has been launched until September. So everybody in the audience, raise your hand if you were somewhat underwhelmed with the iPhone 10 announcement in September. So yeah, usually about a third of the people feel like it was underwhelming, and there's a really good reason why, right? Where were all the amazing apps? How is this going to change our lives? There really wasn't very much content that went next to all of this amazing technology. But it was a brand new phone. It did have new technology. It has depth sensors, a really tight integration with the accelerometer, an amazing new GPU, and it even has something called machine learning right built into the chips, right? So this device is now an immersive computing device. It can sense the world around it, analyze it in real time, compute, and interact with its own environment. This is a major breakthrough, and it's going to create a whole bunch of new amazing use cases. But at the beginning, there isn't really a lot of content. So what I like to say about this new iPhone 10 is it's much closer to Spock's tricorder than it is to his communicator. But there is a big implication. Now that your computing device knows where it is in the room and can move around while your content stays still, similar to what happened with my sons over here on stage, the content can no longer be flat because you need to be able to walk all the way around it for it to feel real. I can tell you that a flat photo of John Hamm, who we captured earlier this year, looks great, but walking into a room where he's full size is a whole nother thing. And this is a new problem for technology. in the past, when we've launched new ways of consuming technology that are digital, we've actually had the benefit of all of the previous world's content just being very easily digitized. So when the Kindle launched, we had all of the world's books and magazines. Spotify had all of the music, and all the streaming video services had every movie and television show that ever been made. But in volumetric content, in AR and VR, we haven't made our Citizen Kane yet. There is no content. And furthermore, one of the hardest things to make is the most important thing to make. Think about the video that you consume when you're either in Instagram or Facebook or flipping cable TV channels. What do you watch? It's people, right? We are actually evolutionarily designed and conditioned to both be great conveyors of emotion and to look to the human form and face to entertain us. We want to look at people. That's what we want to do. But when the iPhone X launched, there were no people. There weren't really even any other compelling use cases. There were some fun apps, and you could imagine what your apartment looked like with a new couch, or measure something, or maybe play some first-person shooter games, but nothing life-changing. And so let's talk about how we're going to fill that world up with content, especially people. So one type of person, quote-unquote person, you're going to see a lot of over the next few years are what's called avatars, right? They're cartoonish versions of people. They're very easy to make. You specify a hair color, an eye color, whether you wear glasses or not, bang, there's an avatar version of yourselves. But avatars are cartoonish, and they don't convey all of the emotion that we want when we consume content. Just a month ago, Mark Zuckerberg tried to create sympathy for the residents of Puerto Rico suffering in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, and he faced amazing backlash. People thought it was very insensitive. The reason why? He was high-fiving as a cartoonish version of himself in front of this tragedy. It didn't make sense. It actually upset people. And so there's a saying that was started in the 60s where the medium is the message. The medium is very much the message when you're in augmented reality or VR, and you cannot convey a serious story as an avatar. Another type of person you're going to see a lot of in the next couple of years are computer-generated people. There's a big problem with computer-generated people. The more real you make them, the more weird you make them. They're very unsettling, right? If you're in an augmented reality dating app, you are not going to swipe right on this guy. Don't think so. So we're starting to solve this problem with technology. Even the iPhone X, it has depth sensing capability and all this real-time analysis capability, and you can look at it and it can overlay the depth and emotion from your face onto a computer model and get some pretty good utility. In fact, I'm sure this phone just launched. I'm sure your social feeds, you've already seen people doing karaoke as the cat and as the turtle and that kind of thing. But notice, what Apple didn't give people was the technology to create a computer-generated version of their face. What did they give us? More avatars, right? So you're not going to want to break bad news to somebody over the phone using the cat avatar. It wouldn't come off very well. You'd have that same negative reaction that Mark Zuckerberg saw. So let's skip over cartoonish avatars and uncanny CG people and move right into a future where we have volumetric video using camera angles from multiple positions to create living, moving, real people, famous people, our loved ones, even our pets. How does this work? So what we actually do, all we need to create holograms is more than 3 video cameras that are pointed at you. You walk into a studio, the director says lights, camera, action, and we record your performance from all of those different angles. Then the magic happens. Using software, we fuse all of those different video feeds into one single digital asset that looks amazing no matter which angle you inspect it from. And that's how we made the holograms of my children and thousands of other holograms that we've already made. Another key part of the technology is actually being able to compress that file so it's small enough that we can send it over the internet into any device anywhere and play it back live at a really high level of quality. And that's what we've done. So enabling the creation of volumetric content from end to end, from capture through to creating the hologram, compressing it, and then transporting it out into any playback zone is a major breakthrough. And it's going to be what's going to allow us to fill the world up with the kind of content that we want. Famous people, our loved ones, even our pets, like I said. So we're still at the early days here. Right now we're making all of our content at a sound studio in Los Angeles. Like I said, we've made thousands of holograms. We've captured athletes, movie stars, superheroes, a tiger, all kinds of different crazy content, and we're making new content every day. But we know that in order for this dream to be realized, this vision of volumetric content everywhere, we have to make it easy to record content everywhere, including in your office, at your home, even out at the park. And we're working on that. The content also needs to be compressed so it's small enough to be streamable, and not just one hologram at a time, fill an entire conference room with people. It has to play anywhere, in VR, in those eyeglasses that are just about to come out, in the mobile phones, everywhere. And all of this has to work live, right? Because if we're going to want to take the place of FaceTime with holographic communication, it has to all work live. And that's very close. It's happening. So all of these things are the stuff that we as technologists are working on, and we're gonna get there. But the thing that we need the most for this vision to come true is actually your job, because we need a lot of creativity. What are the use cases? How are we going to change the world? When the iPhone came out, nobody really thought, oh, this is how we're going to navigate, or this is how we're going to order a car. All of these things are still yet to be figured out, and they could be figured out whether you work in a big company or you're an entrepreneur. But we have some ideas. So a few months ago, we launched a little camera app called Holo. It actually allows you to take these holograms, put them into your room or into your office or anywhere that you want, and create videos and photos and share them on the internet just like you would any other normal content. And it's been extremely popular, right? We've had over 10 million holograms placed. We've had over 1 million downloads. Every country in the world has downloaded this app and is using it. In India, they love the Tiger app. In America, it's Spider-Man and John Hamm. We've recorded YouTubers. We've even made zombies for Halloween. There's Jerome Boateng from Bayern Munich dribbling a soccer ball out in Santa Monica on the beach. And so entertainment and storytelling is an obvious use case of this, and it's not just in camera apps. It could be in any app. It could be location-based. There are lots of cool uses. What about education? Think about it, if the next time you went to visit the Smithsonian Museum and you were seeing Apollo 11 or the space shuttle, your tour guide could be Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut. So we've already recorded Buzz Aldrin talking about his vision for settling life on Mars, and that hologram and the ability to interact with it is going to be available for your children and their children for generations to come. But it isn't just tourism, it's any kind of training. Imagine being able to taught how to lift weights or throw a punch from the world's experts, or actually your favorite pro athletes. On top of athletics, what about industrial or health and beauty? We're helping lots of forward-thinking companies to use volumetric video to fill their world up to help train. And we're already seeing that the brain creates memories a little bit differently when you're in an immersive computing situation. And if you get better memories, you get better learning. What about shopping? What if you could be sitting in your own home and have a salesperson, a very knowledgeable salesperson, beam their hologram in live and then help you look at models wearing some clothes that you'd like to potentially try on so you could see how they fit and what they look like. We're already working with Bonobos and Walmart on imagining what the store of the future might look like, and it's pretty exciting. So what are you waiting for? This technology exists now, and although it's at its early days, it's usable. If you go to our website, you'll see that we have mobile SDKs available for download, along with lots of sample content, and we can get you started on whatever it is that your idea for the future and how we're going to change the world could be. But I have one more story, one more set of holograms that I was going to show you. So we've been working with this family for about 2 years now. So we've been recording holograms of them about every 6 months for sort of a holographic diary project that we've been working on. So the mom's name is Ashley and the baby's name is Reese. And the first time that they came in to our studio, Reese was just a little 5-month-old baby. And Ashley decided to create a hologram, which was her message to her baby in the future, right? So she was able to think about what it would be like when Reese was about to have her own children and give a message, a mother-to-mother message. That was really, really cool and emotional, but what happened next was amazing. About 6 months later, Ashley was able to come in and go into virtual reality and see the hologram of herself from 6 months ago holding her own baby. Not only that, she could walk into her own hologram and hold her baby again. So not only had she created this amazing message to the future Reese, she had created an amazing memory for herself. Now we've recorded them 5 or 6 times, and this entire family, for generations to come, is going to be able to see the progression of little baby Reese from a newborn up into a toddler, and then through into elementary. So I think creating memories and preserving memories is another great use case for immersive computing. And I'll end with asking you, what memory can we create for you? Thanks.